Right, I just clicked going live. So we are going live on YouTube.
Hello, and welcome to our second conversation of our Behind the Screen series. During this event, please feel free to use the chat box to share reactions, comments, or any other questions you may have for our guest speaker. Also, please don't hesitate to contact our customer support team at info@zoomcatchers.us if you run into any troubles during the event. Now, our founder and moderator for today, Garland Thompson, will introduce our amazing guest.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Zoomcatchers presentation of Behind the Screens, our series of conversations with really interesting people doing exciting and interesting things. Cool people having a cool conversation. My name is Garland Thompson. I'm your host, and I'm CEO of Zoomcatchers, and I am very thrilled to be here. This is the second in our series of interviews and conversations, and I am very thrilled today to be able to bring to you a wonderful human being, someone I've known for a number of years and I've watched grow as an artist and as an actor and a performer and a writer and a director and a producer and now a puppeteer and a comedian. It's just been amazing to watch this person's growth. Who am I talking about? Of course, I am talking about our dear friend Kaili Y. Turner. Kaili, join us, please. Step up onto the stage, why don't you? Hey, there you are. What's happening, Kaili?
Hey, well, here with y'all, and thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it is such a pleasure to have you, Kaili. Thanks for agreeing to come on. And you're our second conversation here with Behind the Screens, so we're really excited to have you. You know, we're going up. We're on an upward climb.
That's right. Well, I'm glad to be part of the trajectory.
Oh, you definitely are. You definitely are. And we're going to get into it as we go throughout the next 45 minutes or so, close to an hour. We're going to talk about it because you yourself are on quite a trajectory yourself. I think you're on a trajectory as far as the culture goes. So, and you're going to be breaking out soon. That's why it's another reason why we wanted to get you now while we could still afford you.
I feel like Garland, we're basically like family. You'll always be able to afford me. I'm always like a phone call, an email, or whatever away. Like,
oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm gonna hold you to that. When you blow up.
You got that.
All right, cool. That's good to know. I'm gonna be, we're gonna have that kind of Tiffany Haddish relationship thing going on there. You know what I mean? We bring each other up. We
That's
bring
right.
each other.
Exactly.
Well, I am happy that we can actually spend some time with you and help you on your career trajectory as well, because that's another reason. I've been watching you I've known you for over a decade, right? We've known each other for quite a while, and I've watched you grow and work and all the different things you've been involved in productions and shows and just all the hard work you put in, the training you've put in. You've been really cool too, because on social media, you've let us into your world about all of that on social media, Facebook. So it's been really, between, talking to you actually in person over the years. Of course, we've seen each other a number of times at the National Black Theater Festival.
Yeah.
Which, for the folks out there who don't know, it's a big festival, happens every 2 years in the odd year down in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We're getting ready to do a kind of a hybrid virtual event because of COVID this year. But so we've been down there, and I run a play reading series down there, and Kaili has read in our series a number of times. I think I've even gotten you to direct once or twice too. So
no, not at the festival, no? but my play Indian Country, that was the first time that it ever had any kind of public reading. Was Frank Silvera's writer's workshop. Yeah.
Well, see, this is,
yes.
See, this is another thing, folks, if you don't know about Kylie, I neglected to mention she's also a playwright. And so we know her work as a playwright. She's a wonderful writer, and her play Indian Summer is a very interesting piece, kind of a slice of life, if you will, of Native American life up in the northeastern part of the country.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, you've got a family. It's actually a wonderful family piece. It really is, and it's very funny. You know, it's very funny. Of course, I would expect no less because you're very funny. Anyway, I've been talking a lot. Let me ask you this. Let's start with this. What inspired you to pursue a career in comedy?
Ooh, what inspired me to pursue a career in comedy? I feel like for the longest time, like ever since I was younger, I always used to be funny. Right?
Used to be.
I was always funny. I was always funny, but it was never anything that I was like, oh, you know, I guess I didn't realize, even though like In Living Color, Mad TV, Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, like Adele, Monique, you know what I mean? Melanie, like all of these amazing comedians that I came up with, right? Because when I was coming up, I feel like Def Comedy Jam was like a big thing. And like watching them, even though I watched them, I guess for me, I didn't know that was a route I could go, if that makes sense. And it's so funny because my dad will say like in another life he would be a comedian. And so I don't know, maybe part of it is like taking up the mantle for him. But when I did my first sketch, like with American Candy so many years ago, I don't even remember what year it was. I was like, oh, like I could do comedy. Like, and from there, it just, yeah.
Well, it's funny because I remember the first time I saw you actually was in a play that had been produced and brought down to the festival, and was a two-hander, what we call a two-hander in the business. It's a two-character piece. It's a young couple in love, dealing with the vicissitudes of love and all sorts of stuff, you know what I mean, having a relationship. But it was a really hysterical piece by Morgan James Peters, but very funny. And you were hysterical on it. You really were.
And it's crazy because that piece for me as the character Janet, which is such a great piece, but as Janet, it's not funny. It wasn't funny to me as the character Janet. Like she was living this, you know, and relationships are crazy. Like relationships, like getting to know someone, you know, them getting to know you, having to like compromise, right? On so many different levels. Like, so for Janet, it was not funny. So it was interesting to see that the audience is like, oh, this is funny. But I guess it was because it was relatable, right?
Sure. It was very relatable because we've all been there and we can, you know, right? We've seen it. And to see someone going through it like that, it's just like from the outside, you're like, really? That's what we look like? What?
Yeah. So. You know, I remember doing that play someplace and a young lady in the audience telling me that she couldn't stand me. She was like, I hated that character. And I was like, well, then that means I did my job.
Absolutely. You definitely did. If you're getting that kind of reaction, you know, because also, as we know, theater is holding up a mirror, right? So perhaps she saw something of herself in Janet's character, you know, you never know. But I remember that, you know, still to this day, it still sticks with me, that piece and your work in that piece, you know. And I've seen you in other things over the years. I've seen you in some of your, when you were in college, I've seen some of your class productions and what have you, some of your, I don't know, they don't call them capstone projects, but I've seen some of your final projects and what have you. So a lot of really good stuff. Tell you what, let's why don't we can we play your comedy reel right now?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Let's see that. Let's see that, and then we want to hear a little bit more. I want to hear from you. I want to stop talking so much, and I want to hear from you. So all right. So let's see here. Let me go find your thing here, and all right, let's go.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how you did that twice. I don't know. After the first one, I felt like I could have them all. Okay. And look at her top. I'm sure. How many glasses did she have? She had enough to do that twice.
You can have them all.
Goodness.
Yeah. You can.
But don't ever do that again. I'm just saying though, that club scene, yo, Deny in the red gown with the heels, fucking people up left and right. You see me?
This is exactly why we need this movie. It is for the culture.
Yo, my dude, why are you talking like that?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't know, actually.
Yeah, because that was weird.
And that soundtrack.
Whoa, back the fuck up.
Well, do not run up on us like that, Colin. I said, yo, dude. Stop! Working in deep space, it's important to keep up crew morale. That's why I like TikTok.
I see our YouTube stream is being a little funny. We got a big gray box there for some reason. So let me pull it back. I'm going to see if I can restart this. Okay, so let's try this again.
Yes, YouTube gods, work with us.
Please.
He's trying to show my work.
Must show her work. You must show her work. Let's see here. This is always the fun part, of doing this, because we're still learning.
Exactly.
We're still trying to figure all this wildness out. And now, can you believe this? Now it doesn't want to find your video at all. Okay, well, I guess that means we're supposed to talk some more. So
yeah, we can always try again later. Or
yeah, we'll come back to this. We'll definitely come back to this. Let me ask you this, and again, so I really, really am interested in your journey. You've had a wonderful journey. I have to say, also mention to the folks out there, if I may, that you're also a mother.
Yeah.
You're also a mother with 2 young children. And two very beautiful young children. And so you do, in addition to all the work that you're doing, comedy, acting, etc., and you really dedicated yourself to a life in the arts. You're also raising 2 children. So what's like your biggest challenge as you're trying to do all this?
Time and only being one person, right? Like we don't have clones yet, or that we know of, right? But like, yeah, time management, figuring out what best serves, or what I think best serves my career in the moment, how I might be able to negotiate my time with my kids and their needs, right? Because they have needs and they have wants too. And sometimes my wanting to do this art does bump up against, their need for maybe my attention, or school, or a project that they, one of them may have to do, or something like that, or one of them has a show, and so you really have to manage, I really have to negotiate my time. So that's the most precious thing to me. And so like, now when I pick projects, well, most of the projects I'm doing myself, but honestly, that's another thing. Like, everybody at this point, I think everybody knows about me that is a creative, or that has worked with me, or knows me well enough, knows that if I'm doing a project, more than likely my kids are part of it. They're on set, quiet in a corner somewhere, God willing, hopefully they're quiet. Like, or there's a like 0.1 of a chance they're with a babysitter, or somebody else is watching them, or something like that. The oldest, my oldest is 13, and so he's somewhat self-sufficient, because he is only
right,
13.
but you still,
then, yeah.
as a younger child, you still went through it with him, because for all of his life you've been involved in the arts. You've been a major creative.
Yeah, which is funny, because when I did that play, when we first met, when I did that play, Working Things Out, that was that was prior to him.
Right. I
So
remember.
so the next time, so the next time you saw me, I had my son, my firstborn, my heir.
You did.
But yeah, it's all about it's negotiating my time.
Now, there's the time aspect. How about emotionally? Has it been emotionally challenging in any way? I mean, your son, I know your older son, I know he has become an actor himself. He's following in your footsteps in showbiz,
Somewhat.
which is right, to some extent. So, which is kind of cool. But I mean, is it tough? Was it tough emotionally? Did you ever get, I don't know, like the sad face and the big eyes and
Well, yeah, no,
you know,
there's definitely been times where it's because I'm also a single mom, and you want your kids to be great. Like everybody has the highest of expectations for their children and hold them on the utmost of a platform or a podium, right? And you want them to just do great at whatever it is that they want to do. And so there are times where things can be emotional and can be a struggle. Like, recently we had high school applications, and here in New York there's it's like applying for college, honestly.
yeah,
Like
pretty
like because
serious.
it's a very serious process, and that was so stressful on both of us, really, because I had to be on top of him to make sure that he did everything that he needed to do to submit his portfolio. We had to pick the schools that like really best served his needs of having all the things he wanted, not just including like programs that he wanted to get into, but also like clubs and extracurricular activities and things like that. Hopefully in the future when things are safe, right? And
Right.
but yeah, so it definitely that was very taxing. And like once it was over, it was like, whoo, mom, okay, we're done with that now. And I was like, yeah, we're done with that. But the next thing is like, you still have to maintain your grades. You still have the rest of 8th grade to finish out. And then things are not going to get easier. They're just going to get harder, because then you have 4 years of high school. And the next thing, we are going to be applying for college. So
right.
but
Yeah, one thing sort of rolls into the next.
yeah. Things
That's
definitely, and I'm a human, you know what I mean? I'm a human, they're human. And so yeah, like life comes at you hard and fast sometimes, but yeah, that's when sometimes like a good hug comes in.
Yeah, good hug always helps, right?
Yeah.
That always helps. It really is amazing. No, I mean, how, the time challenges that you have. I mean, raising a child, just the challenges of motherhood in general, trying to keep it all together, keep the bills paid, etc., and keep yourself, satisfied as an artist and as a creative person. It's very much my hat's off to you. You are definitely Wonder Woman.
Thank
And all the other women like yourself, y'all are all Wonder Women. And I don't know where our society would be without women. Like, well, I do know where it would be in the toilet.
Thank you. Yeah. We do what we have to do, and it is great to be appreciated. But yeah, it can be a hard road sometimes. It definitely can, because you want everything to be great. And I'm a perfectionist. So I want my projects to be great, and I want my kids to be great. And I like, so yeah. And I'm sure for them too, they're like, there are definitely times when they've had enough of me. My oldest son is old enough to tell me, like, okay, you're too much right now. Your team too much. And you need to go sit down. Like,
right. You need a timeout, mom.
Yeah.
To back it down a notch or two. Yeah. Well, that's good. You can keep yourself. That's good to have a kind of a regulator, help you regulate things. Let's see if we can try. We're going to try another video here. We've got another video of yours, and this is a sketch comic. This is going to kind of lead us into something here with the conversation. So let's try this again. Okay. So this is a video. You want to introduce this video for the folks before I pull
which
it up
one
and
is
say
this?
anything?
Is this
Melanin? Maybe it's.
Melanin. Yeah. Okay. So this is my sketch. Maybe it's Melanin. It's a commercial parody on. Well, you'll see. And it was featured in the Central Florida Sketch Fest, and it'll be featured next week in the Toronto Sketch Fest. So I'm really excited about it. I'm really proud of this video. and it features like beautiful melanated sisters. So yes, let's go.
It does indeed. Well, let's take a look. Let's see what we got. YouTube gods, work with us.
Let's go. Come on, YouTube God.
Flawless skin. Poreless perfection has arrived. Prove it. Skin is smooth, perfect, like it's been airbrushed. Beyond flawless. Perfection. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's melanin. Maybe it's melanin.
It's definitely the melanin.
All right, Kaili. Kaili, that's something else. Go ahead. Let's get your camera back on, Kaili.
I need permission.
Oh, you need permission again? How did we do that? We did this already. Oh my God.
I know.
How did we do
I
this?
need permission.
The gods are being very strange to us right now. I'm not sure why. You should be able to do that. That's very okay. Let's try it now. Try it now. How's that? Can you do it now?
Let's see.
Yes.
No.
Please. No.
No.
What? Okay. Oh, here's what I know. Here's what we'll do. God, let's try it this way. Oh my God. There we go.
I'm back.
You're back. So good to see you. Oh my God. Oh my God. I missed you. So that was how was it shooting that? How was it pulling that together?
It was such a fun project. It's really short, so that was the good thing. We basically just grabbed, like, we found a studio, because the biggest thing was I wanted it to look like a Maybelline commercial. I really wanted to parody that, and like, cause you probably hear my child in the background, because that's how mommy do.
Well, that's all right.
But like, right, cosmetic commercials, they're so clean and bright, right? And so we wanted to make sure that we had that, like, clean, bright, crisp. And so we found a beautiful studio, which actually the guy he's not there anymore. And that was pre-COVID, so I don't know. But it was called The Secret Layer, right down in Brooklyn at the Navy Yard. And he had the motorcycle, which was a great prop. Different things around his studio that we really got to utilize. The phone booth, as you saw, which was so cool, because that was like a real old-fashioned phone booth that he got from somewhere. Like, and so really just shooting that was really just making sure that I knew, like, the shots that I wanted. I had some great DPs, To Karen with Love, one of the sketch groups that I'm part of. That was a To Karen with Love sketch. I wrote it for that sketch group. And so Martin Bolliger and Cameron Mason both did DP. They were behind the camera, and we just got the different shots. And I just really wanted it to be, like, fun, because, emphasis on comedy, it's a parody. So just do some, like, fun, quirky stuff, but also then, like, bring in the glamour and the fashion and yes, and the face.
It worked, and you wrote that entire thing yourself. You wrote and scripted it out and had storyboard. You directed and produced it, right?
Yeah, I did not storyboard it, because we kind of skipped over that part, but, like,
we won't tell anybody.
Right?
Shh, don't say anything.
I know, right?
No one needs to know.
But I definitely, I wrote it and then got with the team, and we talked about, like, the shots that I wanted, location, found the location. And really, I feel like once we found the location, everything kind of fell into place. It was like, okay, this is it. And this is what I want from this. And like I said, it's a Maybelline parody. So I really took a lot of ideas from just doing cosmetic commercials because they're so glamorous and they're so, you know what I mean? They're so over the
Mhm.
top.
They are, and so silly. They're all like doing things that normal humans never do.
Exactly. That's why I was like, this is perfect. Like,
No, that definitely worked. That was very funny. Which leads me into our next little kind of topic of conversation, which is a most incredible and wonderful, I would say, development for you and your career and your creative abilities and artistry and all that, which is the fact that you got accepted into a program by a Second City in Chicago, if I got this right, Second City in
yes.
Chicago, to be in an internship program for Black women for Saturday Night Live. And so this could possibly lead, I mean, I don't want to predict or say anything, I don't want to say anything in return, but right, if I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, but this could possibly lead to you having, you being able to have a part on that show or be on that show at some point, yes?
Yeah, so it's so I'm one of 4 recipients at Second City for the SNL Second City Scholarship, and it's not specifically for Black women. It's more for our marginalized, it's BIPOC and marginalized. So it's actually the people that won is me and 2 other women and 1 other non-binary person, and it's just been such an amazing ride. So what it does is it gives us the opportunity to take free classes at Second City, which is amazing. Like, first of all, Second City, the history there, some of it good, some of it bad, you know what I mean, but we're gonna focus on the good.
On the whole.
Yes, exactly. And just the talent that's come out of Second City, right? And being able to train there. And then what it ultimately, as I've been told or led to believe, leads to is being given the opportunity to audition for SNL and or submit a writer's packet if you're interested in, writing for SNL. And so me, of course, I would love to both submit a writer's packet and audition. And so as I think I heard, it's at the end of like 2 years of training. So I guess I'm in Second City's conservatory right now, and I already did my first I don't know if you'd call it level or whatever, but I did my first series of classes with them, and we did a showcase a few weeks ago, and it was really great. I had such a fun time. And so now I'm in conservatory 2, and just like I'm with a lot of the same people from my last class, which is awesome. But then there's a few sprinkled in new people, which is really great because it's always fun to have like new people, and the more people at the party, the better the party is, right? And so like it's just really awesome to take comedy classes again, because it's been a while since I've taken comedy classes, and it's helped me to brush up on some things. And then awesome to like be on this journey with these other 3 people who are like, it's like, yeah, we got this scholarship, and yeah, we're on a trajectory where we could. It's a possibility that might be within reach.
Sure. Well, absolutely. Well, when a person comes packing with credentials like Second City, and what have you, and that kind of serious training, because the institution is undeniable, then, that really can shoot you further up. And so, this is a really wonderful opportunity. And I think tell us a little bit, if you would, what was it? Because I also feel like it has to feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like it has to feel a little bit like a reality TV show, sort of, in its own way.
Being one of 4,
being one of the 4, and you're on this journey. I mean, you're not living together in the same house or anything like that, or on an island.
Yeah, no,
I
mean, it definitely gives you that like grad school, or that like, hey, we're going cross country on a bus together type feel. You know what I mean? Like, because yeah, like there were, unbeknownst to me at the time, right? There were, I think, over like 1,300 submissions, which is like,
wow.
Like that's a lot of submissions. And to narrow it down, like for me to be one of those chosen, like, I don't know how that happened. Clearly they saw something within me, and I'm so glad they did. Like, I'm so appreciative. But yeah, like I submitted a package, which was basically, I think I submitted a sketch or 2. I sent them 3 different characters from like a character reel that I had previously done, and did that, waited, found out I was a semifinalist, I guess, did an interview with some of the execs from Second City and a casting director. And I don't know how many people interviewed, but it was so crazy because after I finished that interview, like I went into it like, this is who I am. They're gonna get Kaili. Like I'm just gonna be me. And then when I hung up and later on thinking about it, I was like, I think I got that. And I don't know why. And it wasn't me being like, you know, overzealous or anything like that. But I was like, I think I got that.
Nice. And you had that feeling. You know, it's true.
Yeah.
I've heard other actors feel like, you know, say that, you know, they just knew there was something and they nailed it.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
just it's like, it was just a feeling that I got where it was like, I was totally myself and I was totally confident in my abilities. And it was just like, I think they saw everything that I needed for them to see in me.
Yeah.
And I think I got that.
Well, that was the right choice. That was the right choice because so many people are trying to figure out what it is will please them in that room, right? And which they think because if they please them, they will then want to hire them. And that is not necessarily the case. An actor may please them very much, but for a whole host of reasons that have nothing to do with the actor doesn't get the job, right? But
Yeah.
you know, but someone who's going in there like confident, like, look, this is who I am. I'm showing you, I'm being honest. I'm not fronting in any way. You know, here it is.
Yeah.
And
I also just didn't want to pretend to be like, I was like, oh, I don't want to be something I'm not. And then later I gotta like continue to fake that. Like, I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to carry that out. So it was like, they're just gonna have to get me.
Well, that's true. That's a, you know, funny thing about little lies, you know, like that, that they could kind of blow up like that.
Oh, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Don't touch that phone. Hold on. Don't, Onika. Oh, I'm sorry. Onika is having a moment. She is like, Onika, don't touch. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Okay, just wow, folks! I don't know what's happening here. Kylie's I don't know what's going on here, but I think Kaili will be back in just a minute. I hope you guys are all enjoying the conversation so far. I know I'm having a blast talking with.
Am
Kaili
I on?
and...
Is it my turn?
Hello? Hey!
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi. You must be Onika.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. We kind of almost didn't expect you here, so welcome.
Oh, you did? Wait, what do you mean you didn't expect me? Isn't this this is my interview, right?
Well, I mean, we've been talking with Kaili, and so you're welcome to join in. So we're glad to have you, Onika.
Well, because I heard that Zoomcatchers was doing an interview with Kaili over there,
yes.
And that Onika was the big feature. That's what I heard, though. Am I not a feature?
Well, no. I don't want to say that now. No. I don't. No, you are definitely a feature, Onika. We definitely looking forward to speaking with you, Onika. So
great to be here. Thank you for having me.
What's going on, Onika? What's happening in the Onika life?
Well, you know, things have been stressful during pandemic. I haven't been getting the hosting gigs that I used to get. Like I haven't gotten acting gigs like that. I've only had 2 auditions in 2021 so far. And we're in March. This is crazy.
That's kind of how you
my talent.
Well, I don't see how they could not recognize your talent, Onika.
Yeah, I know. You know, Garland, I've noticed it. You got this Zoomcatchers show.
Yeah.
Maybe you need a co-host.
Oh, well, hey, you know, that's not a bad idea, Onika.
Because I need a job. Do you pay?
Well, unfortunately, we'd have to negotiate that. That's all negotiable.
Okay.
So we'd have to work on it.
About. Like, I'm here to negotiate. I can have my lawyer contact y'all. And because I'm looking for something.
All right. Well, why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? Have your lawyer contact us. We'd love to talk to them about it. I think that's a great idea.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Onika, I'm flattered that you would want to be a co-host. I mean, someone of your stature and your height and your fame. I mean, Onika.
Wait. Did you say my height? Was that a height joke?
Oh, no, I mean your career, how high up, you're a celebrity. You're
Okay.
a
But I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive about my height. I mean,
well, I understand that.
it's
Sure.
hot out here being 4'2".
That's kind of tough. The world's yes, that would be kind of tough, I imagine. But you're
Yes, it's tough.
big. You're bigger than life though, Onika.
Oh yeah. Yes, I am. My personality is huge, and that's why I'm thinking maybe I should do reality TV.
Oh, now there's a thought. What kind of reality TV would you do, Onika?
Right? I could do like is that Real World still on? Does that
Well, they just did a reboot of it, but it's all the
they
same
did?
people, so they're all old. You'd be with all these old MTV people.
Oh no, I don't want to be with old people.
No,
I need to be. I'm a millennial.
that's true. When can I ask when you were born, Onika? When is that okay to ask?
You can ask when I was born, but I will not tell you my age because you never ask a lady her age.
A true lady, absolutely. You are absolutely right, Onika.
That's right.
A true lady. So, well, back to this reality TV show thing. Do you have any ideas about a reality TV show you'd like to do?
I feel like they could follow me around and see what
Okay.
it's like to be a puppet in the business.
Wow. Well, what
Behind
can
the
you tell
scenes.
us? What can you
Behind the
tell us
scenes.
about that?
Well, I'm trying to tell you. I'm telling you right now.
Okay. I
So,
like it.
You're trying to get gigs. You're trying to get your hosting stuff. Everybody loves you out in the street. But do they call you? Do they call you when it's pandemic? No. Even y'all. This isn't my interview.
Well, it is now.
They forget about you. People just use you. And they just like, look at the cute little puppet. I'm a person too. I mean, I'm a puppet, but I'm a person.
Onika, I'm curious about something. I mean, how do the other? I mean, you must know other puppets in the business, like you must know Kermit and Miss Piggy and the gang over there.
Well,
I mean, how?
They're elitist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Miss Piggy. I they're like old Hollywood, and I'm trying to bring in something new, something urban. If I'm singing and dancing, I want a big check. But I'm not singing and dancing about rainbows. I'll tell you that much.
No rainbows, yeah.
No rainbows in the hood.
No, huh? Not in.
When's the last time you seen a rainbow in the hood?
Well, that's true. Hey, have you tried out doing some rap by any chance?
Oh, I do rap.
You do rap?
Yeah, you didn't know?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I do a lot of things. I host. Ooh. I rap. I can crack jokes. I'm funnier than Kaili.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's saying a lot because Kylie's pretty funny now.
Yeah.
So that's. Can you give us a little taste of your rap skills? Onika?
You want me to drop some bars?
Yeah. Can you drop some bars on us?
I could definitely drop some bars. Here we go.
All right.
So tonight you catch me on the Zoomcatchers show. It's Onika. Drop me the dough. I don't know what you calling me for. It's 2021, my dough. Oh, it's Onika. And I'm a puppet, but I'm a person too. You gotta know it. Do what you gotta do. Hey. I mean, I could have done better, but there was no beat.
Not bad. Actually, I kind of liked it. I kind of liked it. You're
I
really
need
good.
If there was a beat,
sure.
I could have kept it going. I would have had more inspiration.
A beat, huh? Let's see. I don't know.
Yeah,
what could we do for a beat for you? We could go
Garland, are you beatboxing?
Well, I'm trying. I don't know if I can. I'm probably embarrassing myself. I should probably not do that. Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, what happened to Onika?
Let's say
So you're saying I'm not good enough then to beatbox? Well, Onika's phone seems to be having a little bit of some problems here. I don't know if we're going to be. Is that it for Onika? Did we lose Onika?
Okay. Man, sorry about that.
Oh, she's something. She is definitely something.
It's hard to. I had to like try to calm her down. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. Thank you, Kylie. Thank you very much for. It's was very interesting hearing from Onika.
She's quite the character.
She is. She is. Now, who is Onika, and how did Onika come into the world?
So Onika, I met Onika. I think I've known her for about 2-3 years now. I met this wonderful and very talented sister, Dana Verde, and she put together a puppet show, and it was called Dirt. And so we did a couple episodes that are on YouTube, and it was like me and her, she had a puppet, I had a puppet, and so we had this thing called Two Black Girls at the Movies, which was a comedy piece where the puppets were like a Siskel and Ebert, if you will. They would watch trailers of movies and then tell you whether or not you should see the movie based off the trailer.
I love it. I love it.
Very colorful commentary, and we just used to have a ball doing that. And but she is an amazing screenwriter as well, and so she she had to move on to doing better things in Hollywood and stuff. So that wasn't something that she time negotiation, right? She couldn't negotiate her time to give food up anymore. And so I had fallen in love with Onika, and we became best friends. So it was like, yeah, I wanna keep Onika. And then just started, me and her just like, hey, like I want to keep this puppeteering going. So yeah.
I think that's awesome. And puppeteering is such an incredible art. I mean, from what was it? The show about horses that was on Broadway a few years ago, to the Muppets and what you're doing. Yeah, there was a show about horses or about a wild horse, a boy and a horse, and what have you. War Horse. That's it. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and those were like huge. Those were like
amazing puppeteering.
Oh yeah, so that's a really great skill. I'm glad to. I always love to see stuff like that happening, and puppets are just fun. I mean, Onika's very fun. She's a lot of fun.
But like you said, puppets are fun. Everybody loves a puppet. Like most of us grew up on Sesame Street and stuff like that. So yeah, whenever I bring her around, she is like, everybody wants to be around Onika.
Oh, of course. Yeah, how could you not? She's very magnetic and quite the personality she's got there too. And I love, so please tell Onika thank you for crashing our interview. We will have to have her on her own interview next time.
Yeah.
Now, how have you right. Now, man, I'm having so much fun. This is really awesome because I'm like smiling and I'm laughing so much. I'm having so much fun, which I think is like so desperately needed in these times, that we've been going through. I mean, I don't want to necessarily plunge us down into the muck or whatever, but I am curious how you've been managing throughout this whole pandemic. And I mean, even prior to that, things were crazy because we had, the George Floyd murder and the protests and the Me Too movements before that. I mean, there was a lot building up to 2020 that just, kind of came. So how have you been doing through all that and managing all that?
Well, it's interesting because prior to COVID and everything kind of falling apart, if you will, I felt like I was on top of the world because I had just gotten on a UCB mod team, and I was on the first all-female mod team. And being on a UCB team was a dream of mine. And so to do that and be doing that, and had done, I think we had only did 2 shows. So I was like on top of the world as far as like career, right? Still managing how to figure out, because my youngest son was even younger, so still managing how to figure out like babysitting and going to rehearsal and this, that, and the third. But I feel like I was making it work, right? And then when pandemic hit, at first it was like, okay, nobody really knows what's going on. But then once I realized the severity of it, and for me, it was when the NBA canceled. It was prior to New York shutting down. Like once the NBA was like, we're not doing anymore, like
it's serious,
was done. In my mind, I was like, these old ass white men are not gonna just let money like that go if this isn't serious. That's how I looked at it. And and I was like, well, this is serious.
Real.
Because for them to shut down the NBA, for them to, you know what I mean, to lose out on all those millions of dollars, then this is serious. And then once everybody was kind of quarantined in their houses, right, and there was nobody on the streets, right, and you could see like hay streaming through.
Right. Yeah,
Right?
those what are those
all the
dust balls,
out, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And remember, all the animals were coming out and stuff, right? But when that was happening, I mean, that was great that all the animals were coming out. But when we were quarantined, I was going through it, because it was like I was the only adult in the house with 2 kids. Now I've got to make breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks for the baby. I gotta, keep the like figure out this Zoom school or remote school for my oldest, and then there's no work. There's no work, and there's also no way to make art, right? And art is my solace. So it's like, if there's no way to make art, how do I, and then also living in New York, like really realizing at that point, like, is this worth it? Is the price of opportunity of living in New York worth the quality of life, right? And realizing that for the most part, it's not. But I do love New York, and I love Brooklyn in the spring and summertime. Like, there is nothing like it. It is.
It's gorgeous. It's drop dead gorgeous, without a doubt.
Yeah, and it's and all the events and all the what's the word I'm looking for? For lack of a better word, I'll just say like community, but it's even more than that, right? Like all the like I think of Juneteenth even last year, and just all the beautiful melanated brothers and sisters out there in the park, just convening together, commencing together, like just having a good old time. So that doesn't necessarily happen the way that happens other places, the way that it does in Brooklyn, and for so many things to be free. Like, you know what I mean? Not have to pay for so many things. Like, you can do these things and it's not going to cost money or whatever. Like, but yeah, so definitely going through it there. And I actually left New York and went and stayed with my brother in Chicago, because he had a house out there, and I stayed there. I left New York April. We left the day before Easter. We left at one in the afternoon, the day before Easter, and got to Chicago at like 1 a.m. Easter morning.
Just drove straight through nonstop.
I drove straight through nonstop. Like, I was like, no, we're getting the hell out of here. I don't know what's happening, but if we're going to be anywhere, we're going to be at least out here where my brother has a backyard. He has space, you know what I mean? The kids can at least go in the backyard. Like, yeah. Like, we only stopped to get food, to get gas, and to use the bathroom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's huge. I mean, to be able to have a backyard for your children, to run around in, and be able to go out yourself and be able to go out in the backyard and get some fresh air and because that's the one thing I have to admit. I'm in California, so I do have an outdoors, and I've got a yard, a front yard, and all this kind of stuff. So I almost couldn't imagine being stuck in New York and not having access to. I would have to go to the park, Central Park, and that's all great that's there, but to be in just a little box of an apartment, 24/7 almost like that.
Yeah. And I felt bad because I was seeing, like, I saw like a post from one of my cousins, for instance, who was here in New York, didn't have the ability to go be with family somewhere, right? And it, we're never gonna really know the full extent of the mental tax that this pandemic has taken on people. Like, we're never really gonna know that. You know what I mean? How
That's
could
true.
how could we measure that? You know? But I know for me that it was definitely mentally taxing, and I had to get out, and thank goodness I was able to. But I can only imagine for like one of my cousins who didn't have that ability, and I'm sure had the same mental anguish that I had, but couldn't leave because there was, you know.
Nowhere to go,
Yeah.
or just no way to get there. And a lot of
Yeah.
people were caught in that situation. And absolutely, been a very difficult situation for a lot of folks in that respect. I've, recently myself was thinking about those things myself. And I've got a lot of responsibilities. I'm a caregiver for an elderly relative and what have you. And I recently just began to wonder, so maybe I haven't really admitted to myself what kind of effect all of this has actually had on me. It's something to really think about and to consider, and it's definitely not something to be ashamed about.
No,
you
not at all.
know as in, mental health is a very important thing, and it's not being in perfect mental health is not anything at all to be ashamed of. But of course, we're kind of taught here in America and American culture to kind of like be like John Wayne and man up and suck it up and just deal with it and grin and bear it and all of that. So it's something we definitely need to consider, which is why I wanted to ask you about it, because you've got, I mean, pre-pandemic, without a pandemic, you've got a huge amount on your plate.
Yeah. Well, we
You
do a lot of trips. That's the biggest thing, is like
know.
I think it's so important to get out of the concrete jungle, or to get out of the hustle and bustle whenever you can. So like
Mhm.
I've tried to, we try to create new family traditions, and we try to just do a lot of things. Like, we went to Mexico for
Mm.
Christmas and New Year's, and I want to take them to like Hershey Park. We're gonna
Mm.
be going there soon. And so just doing things as a family, and doing things, and sometimes doing things just alone as a single adult, right? Because you need that,
Sure.
but just taking time, taking time, unplugging for a
Absolutely.
little bit.
Absolutely. I remember as a preteen, or like 12, 13, 14-year-old, going up in the summer times to pick apples, going in upstate New York to the apple orchards. So that's a fun thing to do with the kids.
Yeah,
The kids
exactly.
might not think that, that's, oh, wow, I want to, but
Oh
once they
no,
get
yeah,
there and you're out there in the nature,
they love that kind of stuff. So
all
yeah.
kinds of fun. Yeah, no, that's wonderful. And that's really, I hope people who are listening out there and who see this whenever or wherever, I hope they, take heart and take heed, because that's some really good advice there, and for just us as people in general, but certainly as a parent for your children, to be able to make that effort to take that time, and you get to spend time with them. So with outside of like the time you're kind of forced to spend with them, right? So
Yeah. But also, again, like, taking time as an adult away from your kids is also equally as important.
yeah, have you been able to do that enough for yourself?
But I stay up. I'm up until all hours of the night, because that's like time
Mm.
to myself without the kids.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
there's times, when they're with like dad, or like
Mhm.
maybe a friend will be like, hey, let me, I'll watch them for a little bit so I can. So I it takes a village, and I am
It takes
thankful
it.
for my village.
Do you have family that you're able to,
Well,
able
none
to
of my
watch them
family's
for you
here in
for?
New York. So
Ah, oh, are they all in Chicago? Is that where they are? Or,
so
or,
my
or up
so
no? Oh no, they're up
my
north.
family's all over the place. My family's all over the place. So both
Right,
of them are,
right,
New England, but
right.
yeah, none of my family's here in New York. And then Chicago, my brother's out there, which will probably
Hmm.
be like another place that I'm at much more often, because once everything
Hmm.
opens back up, I'll be out there at Second City.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then who knows? You know what I mean? LA, New York, you never know. I'm open. I'm at a point where I'm just like, hey, I'm going where the thing, the career or the
Hmm.
opportunity takes me.
Do you feel like the internet has given you more opportunities to get yourself out there, and that now that kind of the whole virtual experience and working and all of that it's
It's,
going to continue to be with us? Do you
I
think that's
yeah,
opened up
oh
stuff
yeah,
for you?
oh yeah. Like COVID. COVID has definitely been such a horrible thing for so many reasons, right?
Hmm.
But then
Hmm.
it's been such an eye opener for so many others, like Black Lives Matter, like, you know what I mean, being able to do a reading for someone maybe who's in LA or something like that, you know, being able to audition now, which sometimes a pain in the butt over Zoom and whatnot, but now like, okay, hey, I don't have to leave my house, I can just, you know, do the audition here or something like that. So I think it definitely has opened up more opportunities of like, you know, auditioning for more things, and it's allowed me to feel like, oh, okay, I can audition for something in Chicago now and not have to really worry about it because my son's remote, so we can go wherever.
Right, right. Shoot, I could be auditioning from Tahiti.
Yeah, we can go wherever.
Right, long as you're there for the shoot or for the job, right? You
Exactly.
can make it there. So
Get
that's a good.
back
What
in
would
time
you?
to do your COVID quarantine.
Yeah, right. What would you, if you have, do you have any advice for, folks that are, folks that are following in your footsteps, sisters, brothers, whoever, that wants to follow the comedic path or just the artistic path in general, kind of like you have? Any advice for them?
I would say trust your gut. Trust your gut. Do what you love. Make sure that you're having fun. At the end of the day, it should be fun, right? Like, and if you're having fun and you're trusting your gut and you're just, you know, doing what you love, then you're gonna have an amazing product no matter what it is. Like, and sometimes, and don't always worry about the money, like
Mm.
what it's gonna cost you to do a project. Like maybe sometimes you have to just do it on your iPhone or on your phone or something like that first and whatnot. Because we all got to start somewhere.
Mhm.
So just start.
Just start. That's beautiful advice. I tell people all the time, at this point in our lives, there really is no excuse not to if you want to, because if you've got a smartphone, especially if you've got an iPhone, then you basically have an entire film production studio in your hand, broadcast quality and everything. So you can put out stuff that can go out there and go very far. So I think that's wonderful advice. I can't believe the hour is pretty much, we've been here like already like an hour. I think a little, almost coming up an hour. It's just gone by so fast. I could just talk to you for hours, Kylie. But before we go, I wanted to a couple things I wanted to mention. You're working on a project that actually I'm a producer on, which is called 50 and 50, Shattering the Glass Ceiling. Which is a production that the Billie Holiday Theater is putting together, and it's the 5th anniversary of this particular show. We've done it 4 other years, and
Yeah.
For the 5th anniversary, we're doing something a little bit different. For those who don't know, 50 and 50 is a Shattering the Glass Ceiling is a program where in the past 4 years, we put out a curatorial statement by Dominique Morisseau out into the public and asked Black women to respond, Black and brown women to respond in 300 to 500 words. And then we've chosen the 50 best of those and put them together. Dr. Indira Edwaru, artistic executive director of the Billie Holiday Theater, has put them together into these wonderful staged reading productions. So because of COVID, we're going virtual this year, and it will be broadcast live streamed on May 6th. And what we've done a little bit different is where instead of putting the call out, we have a new statement from Dominique, but instead of putting it out and getting new submissions, we're curating 40 stories from the previous 4 years. And then we've commissioned 10 new playwrights to give us 10 new stories. And you, Kylie Y. Turner, are one of our commissioned playwrights. Hey. So tell us just a little bit about that, what you think about that, and a little bit, what we can expect with your piece.
Well, first of all, Dominique Marceau is a gem. A gem. Like, she inspired me to write my first play. Yes, seeing Skeleton Crew, seeing a stage reading of Skeleton Crew. So she's a gem. And I know that the Billie Holiday has been doing this for years. I feel like I submitted one year. I can't remember. I think it was either the first or the second year. It didn't make the cut. That's okay, because I know y'all, they get so many submissions from so many talented people all over the world. So like
Yeah.
but to be selected is amazing. And my piece, I really wanted to, when I think of like glass ceiling, and for some reason it makes me think of like feminism, and I don't like feminism because I consider myself a womanist, not a feminist. Um, just because of the messed up nuances of feminism and liberalism and white women, and the strain of it, and how it, and the strain of feminism, white feminism, on Black women. So I don't call myself a feminist. I call myself a womanist, because I'm women first, always. And so my piece, I feel like, or not feel like, I or try to dive into, for me, what breaking the glass ceiling means if we're leaving our sisters behind. And if you are someone who is able to cut through that glass ceiling, right, whether you're melanated or not, how do you use your newfound, I don't know if we call it power or freedom, or your new level of achievement, but how do you use that to help those who haven't yet made it there, or who are underneath you, in a positive light, and don't, and not, like I said, leave people behind, or leave people feeling unappreciated, or underserved.
Do you feel like that sometimes that does happen? Like people do kind of make it, if you will, or whatever, and then that's sort of it, and then the rest of us are just, where we are.
I think sometimes people can get caught up. I don't think it always happens with malicious intent, but I think sometimes when you break through the glass ceiling, because we live in this world of patriarchy, right? And so even breaking through the glass ceiling is a a patriarchal ideal, right? Because we only have to break through it because of patriarchy. So, there's always a hierarchy, and I think until we really acknowledge that, hey, we see this, hey, us Black women over here, we've been saying, hey, like there's a hierarchy here, and we are continuing to get the bad end of the stick. And then when some of us do make it, we need to also make sure that we are helping the next person out in whatever way that is, because that's different for everybody. So it doesn't necessarily mean like monetarily, or, you know what I mean? But in whatever shape or form that you can.
Absolutely. That's what do you think about what Tiffany Haddish has done with her show? I believe it's on Netflix, with bringing folks that she knew years ago that were there when she was starting out, and they were starting out, bringing them up on their show and giving them time.
I think that is amazing, and I like it. It makes me think of like what Issa Rae said about like, don't be so worried about like working up, right? Sometimes you got to work across. And I feel like what Tiffany did was she got there and then was like, hey, let me reach back and work across with all these amazing people who maybe didn't make it for whatever reason. They didn't make it. A lot of it, I'm sure, systematic, but you know what I mean? But I'm gonna give them their shine. They're well deserved.
Yeah, that is really something, and you mentioned systematically, and it's not even systematically just on the racial tip, although that is a huge part of it, but it's also systematically on it just being like the eye of a needle, purposely, and only a select few can get through that eye, right? And so it seems to me, I feel like we need to look at that. And so does it really have to be the eye of a needle? Can we have a little bit more room to let some more folks through?
And it's because of who's holding the needle, like And that's why I don't know if I'll ever be plucked because I talk too much. They might not pluck me.
You will. No, you're going to make your own way, no matter what. What you have coming for you is just incredible. I think, personally, I think Saturday Night Live, once you get a chance to really audition for them, and after you put in all the work that you are putting in, I think they'd be foolish not to cast you and not to bring you on board, or to at least put you to work in some kind of way. So I feel like you're gonna go far. You've already come quite a way, and I think you're going to continue to go far. One last, I think one last quick question. Do you consider yourself an activist in any way?
I definitely do. I feel like I use activism in my art, even if it's not like overt, like in your face. I feel like I definitely use it. Even my Maybe It's Melanin. Like that sketch to me is a form of like art activism, because here I am parading these beautiful melanated sisters of all different hues, right? On this, on this fake Maybelline platform, which we don't really see, and showing the world like, hey, it's the melanin, bitch. Like, like that's what it is. Maybe it ain't Maybelline. It's melanin. Okay, that's what that is.
Right. Yeah, Maybelline is only going to go but so far if you ain't got good melanin.
Exactly. So,
right.
Yeah. So, like I said, like you wouldn't think that when you first watch it. You're just like, oh, that's funny, but underneath, it's like, yeah, no, it was well. It was It was the calculated sketch.
Well, absolutely. Well, I think the world could use more of those more calculated sketches like that. I think, one of the things I love about comedy and about comedians and about people who pursue comedy. I actually, for 2.5 years, many years ago, every Sunday night for about 6 hours or so, did an improv class, a comedy improv class. And it was still to this day, it was like 25, like 30 years ago. I still remember those classes, and it was like the best time. And I think what comedians do, and one reason why I love The Daily Show, for example, under Trevor Noah now, but also under Jon Stewart before, is what you all do, what folks who focus on comedy and who pursue comedy do, is you hold the mirror up to us in such a way that allows us to see all the horrible things, but in a way that we can deal with it. And it's like a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, right? And so you show us that mirror, and we see the horrible stuff, but we don't immediately want to slit our throats and end it all right there because it's so horrible.
Everything's easier with comedy. You can definitely get messages across a lot easier when you slip it with a joke,
yes,
or something like that, as opposed to like, hey, this is what I'm trying to tell you.
Absolutely. I got cast to play Mac the Knife in Threepenny Opera many years ago, and in my research of the piece and the characters and all that, I ran across Bertolt Brecht, the playwright's philosophy. And his philosophy, he was very much a social activist. If you look at all of his work, it all has very much a social activism bent to it. He's calling people out and what have you, but he makes you laugh. He said, if you get people laughing and tapping their feet, right, their defenses will be down, and at the right moment, bam, you shoot that message in there. Yep. It gets in before the shields can go up, right, and keep it out. And then once it's in, it's going to work its magic. And that's the best way to get it in. So yeah. And Threepenny Opera is a classic example of that. Not only is it the mother of modern day musical, but it's also, it's hysterical, but it points out, oh my God, this guy's a cutthroat and a murderer, and his best pal is the Queen of England, and she gets him off. And she, so it's wild. So it's wild. So what you do as a comedian, and your work with comedy and making people laugh, and just you make people feel better, make people feel good. I feel a lot better because I've been laughing and smiling this whole last hour. So you really do that, Kaili. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Give us some. give us some last words of wisdom from the mighty Kylie Y. Turner, comedian extraordinaire.
Wisdom on demand. I don't know. I don't know what
Come on, I put my quarter in. I want my wisdom.
I don't know. I would just say like I said, if you're interested in the journey of like comedy and whatnot, just start and just look at some of the people that you love that inspire you. Like I said earlier, like in Living Color and whatnot is one of my ultimate. Dave Chappelle is one of my ultimate. Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Paul Mooney. You know what I mean? These are people that I looked up to and would love to aspire to be like, and so just making sure that you have a goal and have a goal and set an intention. And while you're doing that, check out My Best Friend parody on YouTube.
Yes. And that was just what I was about to say. You have to tell us where we can find your work. You just dropped this Best Friend parody. It's pretty wild and outrageous, very cool. And you got other stuff. So tell us where we can find you.
Yeah, so I'm on most of my stuff is on Instagram. I'm Madam Starlight on Instagram at MDAM Starlight STARLIGTH. Facebook, Book of Faces, Kylie Turner. But again, yeah, mostly Instagram, Madam Starlight. You can check out my YouTube, Kylie White Turner, and definitely check out that parody if you like it. Share it, subscribe, share it, view it again.
do that. We'll make sure we put that information in the description on YouTube so folks can find that and be able to find you. We'll put the link to the Best Friends parody in there so folks can go and see that. I highly recommend it. You'll have a great laugh. You'll have a great time watching it. It's a lot of fun, and it's just wonderful to see your work and just to see you grow so much, Kylie.
For being part of my journey. You're definitely going to be part of my journey.
It's an honor. It's a great honor, and it's a great pleasure to have you here with us tonight for Behind the Screens. I think that's it. We're gonna sign off. I'm gonna wish you a wonderful night. My kisses and hugs to your beautiful children. Your boys are awesome. We love them, and they're gonna grow up into beautiful, wonderful, awesome human beings. So, and how could they not with a mother like you? So Kylie, you have yourself a great night, and mwah! Give us for some reason I don't know why I just thought of the dating game. I want to give the big kiss on the the dating game kiss. But you take care of yourself, all right? Good to see you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now. And Julie, take us away.